I am going to show you what I believe to be one of the most horrifying statements I've ever heard from a United States Supreme Court justice, and this coming from Ketanji Brown Jackson, and she's going to be talking about her interpretation of the First Amendment constitutional rights afforded to United States citizens, and her conclusions are insane. Before I show you this clip, check out the primary role of a United States Supreme Court justice, and this is coming directly from supremecourt.gov. As the final arbiter of the law, the court is charged with ensuring the American people the promise of equal justice under the law, and thereby also functions as the guardian and interpreter of the Constitution. The Supreme Court justices are supposed to be the guardians, the protectors of the Constitution on behalf of the American people, protecting our rights at all costs. Is this thing that they are judging an offense to the Constitution, an affront to the Constitution, destructive to the Constitution? Because we need to be guardians and protectors of the Constitution for the American people. At no point ever should a Supreme Court justice look to dismantling the Constitution for any reason. This would be the antithesis of their purpose. With that said, check out this statement from Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Justice Jackson?
So my biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment hamstringing the government in significant ways in the most important time periods. I mean, what would you have the government do? I've heard you say a couple times that the government can post its own speech, but in my hypothetical, kids, this is not safe, don't do it, is not going to get it done. And so I guess some might say that the government actually has a duty to take steps to protect the citizens of this country, and you seem to be suggesting that that duty cannot manifest itself in the government encouraging or even pressuring platforms to take down harmful information. So can you help me? Because I'm really worried about that, because you've got the First Amendment operating in an environment of threatening circumstances from the government's perspective, and you're saying that the government can't interact.
We have a lady in Ketanji Brown Jackson who is an active seated member of the United States Supreme Court who believes that the government is being hamstringed by the First Amendment, unnecessarily so, unable to handle the free speech that is happening on the internet and social media. The example she gives is the government can't just say, hey kids, stop that, don't do that. And this First Amendment thing is really getting in the way of the government getting more involved, hands-on, in stopping this free speech that is happening. Ketanji Brown Jackson is not a guardian of the Constitution. She is not a protector of the Constitution on behalf of the American people. She is a wolf on the inside who is looking to dismantle the protections that are provided by the Constitution of the United States, beholden to the government, saying the government needs to have more power, and this pesky little Constitution is getting in the way. We need to protect the Americans' free speech, but it's dangerous out there, and there's a lot of hate and bad things, and the government just can't get their grimy little hands in there because of this little Constitution. This lady is speaking as an enemy to the United States Constitution, not a friend. And I think it brings up the very route that she took to even become a United States Supreme Court justice. Not because of merit, not because she was looked at as the best amongst all of the candidates. It was Biden himself who said, it doesn't matter who the candidates are. We are going to choose an individual who looks like this and is of this background simply because they look like this and they are of this background. If there's 20 candidates and 6 or 7 of them are better than that individual of that background and that look, then it doesn't make a difference. That individual is going to take the seat. And what ends up happening is you have somebody on the Supreme Court who literally is acting in opposition to their very role. What do you think about this? Leave your comments below. I'll catch you in the next video.